We are.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Do beatboxing
Excellent.
again. I need you to do it again. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, I feel much better. That's TS.
And that's Sasha.
And we are live on the Cool Nerd Beat Show on Adobe Radio. A little bit of a reboot. You rebooted, right?
Yeah.
I rebooted as well.
Oh, perfect.
So I hope what was heard was not complete silence and a mishmash of sounds. But even if it was, it's okay because we're here now, and the past is the past. It's because we're live that we suss out our technical difficulties on the air, because we literally met 3 hours before to try to troubleshoot, and everything was working perfectly. But
Yeah.
I think we're good now.
Until I hit record here, and then it rebooted.
Yeah, same for me. I hit, for posterity, we hit record, and it all rebooted. So that's live radio, though, and that's why we love doing it. We've been live here for many, 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 many years, and it's our favoriteest thing. And thank you for listening to it, because I don't edit this out when I put the podcast up. I keep the live silliness because it just makes me happy, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like when you're listening to your silly buddies fuck up at their job. But we are live, and we are bi-coastal this time. We will be probably bi-coastal for most of the holiday, which is fine because we need to do this show more than we need to live our actual full lives. This is our favorite moment of our whole entire week. So we'll do this show from space if we have to.
Be stationed on Mars.
Yeah, and I'll be on another planet or whatever.
On the moon.
Yeah, and we'll still do this show every single week because we love you. We love chatting about the weed stuff, which we will talk about. Today is going to be, we're going to talk, it's here in the United States of A, it's a holiday. It's a holiday week. So it is called Thanksgiving. So, there's a lot brewing around Thanksgiving, and we want to, make it easier with some weed help. But I don't know. I feel like this is a funny story, and I want you to tell it. If you're uncomfortable, it's cool. Again, live radio. We had many hours to talk about this, and I just sprung it on you in the last second. And I'm sorry.
No,
but I feel like I was away this weekend. I was in the woods, in the Catskill Mountains, and I had no reception whatsoever. But what little I did get, it would be because there was a huge storm. It was a foot of snow, and I would get one bar every hour or so, and in that bar of a couple minutes, I would get a barrage of text messages from TS, and
a flurry
during the flurry of Texas, which were great. They were a real treat to come to go back to, and I really loved it. And one of the stories I got was while TS was you tell it. I don't want to say too much and get you into more trouble, but somebody has something on their permanent record, and
yeah,
it's what they tell you about in school.
Exactly. Speaking of fucking up, I was at one of my gigs, one of my many, many gigs, and I was on my way. We'd finished work. I was on my way home, and as we've done in the past, we usually smoke. We smoke a little. We consume a little cannabis. I was on my way to go to lunch. I was still on company property, and our production manager and our general manager walked by while we were in the act of smoking some weed.
So you got caught smoking weed.
I got caught.
By the way, we're all adults. So, and we're all adults
True.
in a legal state also, where I guess like work property is, but this isn't something that you haven't done before. This isn't new. You've been working there a while.
No.
You know, this is also common practice. You're not the only one who does it. So that's also worth noting.
People vape all day, nicotine, cannabis. It's live music. It's the music industry.
Right.
Founded.
I feel like I didn't want to say it outright because I know how much you want to say, but that's a little bit of burying the lead there, because who isn't consuming something? And, save for the sober people, like you are warriors, but like those of us who are still partakers, we're smoking weed during the day in this business, in the music business. And not everybody smokes weed. I totally get that. But you do. And you're okay with it. And you have been doing it for scores of years. I mean, you're not that old, but for a long time. And so to get called out on this at this stage in your life, to me, is very funny. Like I just picture you. What did you do? What did you say you did when you saw them coming? How did you react? I could just see. Did your face turn red though, for realsies, or no?
I'm sure.
You had okay.
It was red. So we're in the wings where nobody ever goes.
Right.
And here comes our GM and our PM. And as soon as I saw, the PM never cared. He knows me. He knows I'm chill.
Right.
He knows everybody there. That's kind of what we do, because we've all worked in the music industry and toured for many, many years. So this is kind of normal behavior.
Right.
So as soon as I saw them coming, I actually put the joint behind my back. It was like handed back to me immediately, and I put it behind my back.
They handed it to you? Oh my God.
Yeah, of course they handed it to me.
Yeah, that always happens when you are the person who smokes people out. You do get footed with the blame, which is kind of whack, because like you're smoking everybody out, but then you're the one who's holding. So technically,
I left holding the bag.
Yeah.
And they walked by. The PM called us a bunch of dumbasses, and then I heard the GM say that it's going to be a conversation involving us later, and then it was a total buzzkill. And then I went home because I got it was a split shift for me that day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I came back, I was facing a write-up like they do in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very generic write-up. I didn't get sent home. I didn't lose my job.
No,
it was totally
just a
fine.
write-up.
It was just a generic write-up.
But it's on your permanent record now.
It's on. This will go down on your permanent record.
It's gonna.
And it is. It's on there, but it's so vague. It's so vague. Like, I guess this is my fucking confession tape, but it doesn't actually say what I did. It just says like vague. Like.
It says like illegal substances or something, and like what technically you're not smoking anything illegal, or you're not doing anything illegal because it's legal in the state.
Yeah. Also, I have for many, many years I have a medical card.
Right. There's also that, which I like. I don't even go to first, which I should, but it's just like it protects you in less ways than in California than in others, just due to like regulation. But it still does protect you in many ways if you have your medical card and you're consuming somewhere that is around your workplace or your workplace. It does. If you have to like go to court over your job or something, you could be like, no,
like an unlawful termination.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
would like you can say like no, that was my and that I feel like that was like a couple states had stuff like that, cases like that where employers
So
were like, do what you want.
I feel like during this write up that I was more embarrassed to be there than anything else. Some of my other coworkers were really mad. I just kind of took it with a little grain of salt, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll write it. And if I get two more, then I'll probably be terminated. But that's not going to happen because it's not going to happen anymore.
No,
Just
no,
go.
you're
I'm
not
gonna have to
gonna.
go on a
Yeah,
little.
you're not
Just
gonna
gonna
have
have
to
to
deal with
go
that
on a
ever again.
little nature walk. Just be discreet. Or
Yeah,
vape like every fucking buddy else there.
yeah, but it's not as satisfying as smoking a joint.
It's not. It is totally. It is not.
It's not. I mean, that's
So
like, especially like where you were. I know where you were, and and like, it's part of it. It's just part of it. And that sounds like such a not pointable excuse for consuming weed. Like, you don't want to be like, well, it's just part of the vibe, but it is. Like, it's just you when you work in a certain culture or place and you are a certain way, it totally does come with the territory. And I do understand employers not wanting us to smoke weed if it inhibits us, or like, if you were building stuff or using lots of power tools and it was like right before you were doing any of that, if you were getting super high during that, like that would not be great. But you're not driving. It's any construction vehicles.
no,
You're
no.
not
There's
performing
no
surgeries.
there's no heavy machinery involved. We were literally done.
Yeah,
Everything was set, and all we had to do was wait for the show to happen.
I don't support
And
this.
and I don't know, man. Fucking corporate America is taking over.
Yeah, I just thought it was
This
pretty
is
funny.
like it was. You did get a barrage of messages from me, and one
And I
was
was like, no way.
you got written up.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
5
what?
question marks.
Yeah, with like a million question marks, and it was like a text that I feel like all those texts came out of order too. So it was it was like all delayed reaction to everything, and I was like, wait, and you were like, yeah, and then you sent me the picture, and I was like, no, like that's in this day and age, in this current 2024, the year of our lords. I can't believe it, but I thought that was a funny story. And now I have no good segue to move on, which I knew was going to be a problem, but that's just how it goes. No, that's okay. I was going to play a thing. Maybe I will still. I was going to play the gummies. I'll play that when we come back from the commercial. But the reason why I was going to play like our little gummies drop that we have is because we're probably going to talk about edibles a lot this show, because we're going to talk about kind of how to deal with this holiday that we have coming up. If you're not from this country, I'm sure that you've heard of American Thanksgiving, and I'm sure that you've heard that around the Thanksgiving table, it's for some reason it gets mostly heated because every part of your family is together, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everybody's fucking tired and kind of doesn't want to be there anyway, and everybody's eating, and everybody's gorging and indulging in reversed, and things get a little testy sometimes, or a little high octane for my taste.
Families tend to do that to each other.
Indeed.
You can,
and even the best of them, even if there's no opinions on the current election, there's always going to be some sort of dust up, and you kind of I have always promoted just taking those little breaks, getting those little walks in where you can maybe take a little puff or just get some air in your mind, in your lungs, and clear your mind a little bit. And also might as well, to take the edge off and to get your munchies going, have some weeds. consume some weed. Take a walk and relax. And we want to give you a guide on maybe how to like space that out. Like if you're like me, you're going on a walk, and I do Italian Thanksgiving. So we do like 65 courses. And before every course, I'm going for a walk. And I'm more pleasant, believe me, when I do. So this may not that high amount may not be for you. I also take like a insane amount of edibles on Thanksgiving, both for anxiety and also I want to have the munchies. Like I really do want to eat food. We cook really good food that day. And I also like I don't want to think about the heaviness of what it all is and also the family shit. So we're going to do like a little loose Cool Nerd Weed Show guide on how to survive your Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, whether, all politics and bullshit aside, is one of my favorite holidays just strictly for the feast.
Yeah, eating, a lot of good food is had.
Drinking, desserts, football.
Yes, you do. The football is on. I always feel so sad that they can't be with their families on Thanksgiving. But yeah, no, it's a gathering day, and I've always loved it because my family always hosted it, so it was always a madhouse in my little apartment growing up. And it's just chaos, but it's like fun chaos if you can kind of approach it with like a positive mindset, and when things go a little awry, you can have your moments to yourself, your weed moments.
Yeah, you're probably going to need to consume a little cannabis throughout the day. It is good for to bridge the gap with to help you be a little bit more kind and understanding. Maybe you have an uncle that's not that doesn't quite have the political views that you do, and a lot of times these awkward conversations will come up because some people like to poke at you.
For sure.
But you're gonna take your time.
Get up and take a walk. There's really it's the one day where it's like so long for everybody that like if you need to just go outside, even if you're not smoking, even if you want to like take a little, like if you want to take a little, like, so what I would do if I were a beginner, like not a beginner, but if I was like a beginner to mid-level cannabis consumer, I would approach my Thanksgiving this way. And then maybe you could do yours. Yes. I would wake up, do a little stretch, and I would take me, not being Sasha, being a beginner to mid-level cannabis consumer, I would probably take around 2.5 to 5 milligrams of an edible, maybe. Just get that right in there. Start the day off. Maybe I would do a ratioed edible, like a CBG or a
CBD.
Yeah, something like that, or like a THCV or something, like a little combination edible if you can get them. That would be good, I think, to start off your day, get you going, get you moving. If that's not possible, if you don't want to consume right when you wake up, but I really do recommend on Thanksgiving giving yourself a little treat and waking and baking. Even if you're beginner to mid, I would say, because you're just going to want that belly to be ready and to not feel yucky, right?
It's an early day, so
yeah,
you're gonna get up. You're probably gonna get up early. If you're cooking, if you got to be anywhere, dinner's at like 2:00.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're like us, like that's not even dinner. It's like,
it's like the
antipasto,
starting the grazing.
Yeah, exactly. Crackers and cheese. So
pepperonis.
We've got 6 things in the ovens: stuffed mushrooms.
Oh
shells.
my god.
Sometimes lasagna, but I don't think this year. Yeah, so that's what's happening. So I would start off with that. Then I would, depending on if you're hosting, I would get my like dosages in a row if I was hosting. I would maybe roll a joint if I was beginner to mid, but I would also maybe like pack a bong or do a one hitter or something. And like I would have my vape. I would have everything in a little area where I could just escape to from time to time, maybe with a friend, maybe by myself, maybe with a sibling. Maybe your fucking father-in-law surprises you and is like, I want to smoke weed for the first time in 40 years. And you're like, okay, you're going to get really high. And he's like, no, I still want to do it. And you're like, but you're going to get really high. And then he does. And then for some reason, your mother-in-law gets mad at you. So like that, like could happen.
If that happened.
And if that happens, you'll feel fine because you'll be high. So you never know who's going to show up on Thanksgiving and want to smoke weed with you. Put that to the side, get it out of the way in case kids are coming too. Like put it in a little place, and then like probably once like the first guests come, or maybe like right before the first guests come, that's when I would smoke my first weed, and it probably wouldn't be like a full joint. I would probably like maybe take a hit off the bong or a one hitter or something. I don't think I would do a Benjamin yet. I think I would wait until I got the ball rolling to take a little dab of Rooney. That's how I would approach the first half of Thanksgiving. If I was hosting, if I was coming to a house, I would kind of do the same. I'd get my little to-go kit because I want to be mindful because we're going to be around a lot of different personalities. And just in case I'm the only person smoking weed, which is often, not as much anymore, but it used to be, then that's fine. I just have my little designated smell-proof bag, and I just dip whenever. And whether they know I'm smoking weed or not, that I don't care about. But I'll try and come back and not, smell the whole living room up with my smell. But that's how I would approach like up to dinner with smoking is like an edible. No. Now right before the main course, that's when I would take my second edible, and that would be a heftier edible.
If I was hosting, it's definitely going to be a wake and bake day.
Yeah.
Just to calm the nerves.
For sure.
I've got to have my lists of what's cooking, schedules, make sure all the hors d'oeuvres are prepped, ready to go. My gravy's ready. It's definitely going to be a wake and bake day because I need to chill out and get ready for the masses.
Yeah, I think with Sasha doing it for sure.
Prepare. I've deep fried some turkey on Thanksgiving, like a secondary turkey. And there's a lot of prep that goes into that as well. Like you got to start the night before, brining, and also you don't want to burn down the backyard.
Yes.
So, I'm starting with a low dose edible, probably a CBD, just to get loose, and definitely gonna, depending on where I am going to be. If I'm in my home territory, I'm definitely going to be smoking. I'm going to have a little joint all day. I'm going to nurse one myself. I did host, and I did set up a weed bar. We had the bar going, and then I set up like because we were in our house, so I set up all kinds of flour.
Perfect.
I had dabs. I had papers. I had pipes,
Love
bongs.
Love it.
I was like, I don't want to be. I'm trying to cook.
I can't roll you a joint right now.
Smoke?
Yeah,
I can't roll you a joint right now, but
and I can't go with
adults,
you probably to smoke. Yeah.
So I'm like, here is everything you could possibly need and want.
That's the ideal situation. If you're hosting a Thanksgiving where people are coming to drink and smoke, and you have an alcohol bar, it's probably prudent to have just even if it's not like a full setup like TS and I would probably have, it's even if you just have like your supplies out and you're just like have at it. And people, if you're hosting that sort of party, will probably bring their own too. Even if they don't, you're hosting, so you're providing the stuff. And I know I would always bring weed to a party that I would be able to share. So I would be able to contribute to that as well if I were going. And yes, like you said, I would expect to be smoking. If I weren't hosting, if I was going as a guest, I would probably be smoking pretty regularly as a guest as well. And also hosting. I say I wouldn't rip the Benjamin until we got the ball rolling, but I probably would sneak a couple subconscious hits, before like the first appetizer is served. And I'd like to save my real ravenous hunger for the main course. So I feel like right before that is when I would like pull out all the stops. I would probably, of course, give yourself time, because depending on how much you've eaten and everything else, low doses especially, but if you're a beginner to mid, then this may not apply. Like, weed takes a second to hit, so it may take an hour or 2 hours. So if you want to be hungry for the main course, like I do, like I'm going to take my edible like right after like appetizers, or maybe maybe a couple minutes with family, spend time doing that, and then like go take like a serious, this is my eyes come back red walk and like really like get my edible in. And I would, if I were Sasha, we would be taking probably like 30 milligrams ish. On Thanksgiving, we probably would go 50 TBH, but that's Sasha. If I were beginner to mid at this point, maybe I would take at like before the main course, like treat yourself to like 10 to 15. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
And especially if it has
15,
CBD in it.
10's a good number.
10's
sure.
a really great
10
number,
milligrams.
especially if you've already been priming yourself all day with like here and there's and a low dose wake and bake in the morning. Then you're ready for a 10 to 15 milligram, I think, to really be in a great mood when dinner hits.
But keep in mind that if you've been eating all day,
yes,
you're grazing all day, and then you eat an edible on top of it, it's probably going to metabolize a little bit slower.
Yes.
It's going to be more of a time release.
Mm-hmm.
Your cannabis edible, but you're going to be feeling great.
Yeah, you'll be feeling really great.
The main event.
Yes, I think when everybody's gathered around, you'll be feeling really like in a good mood, but not like irreparable, because you'll be eating all day. So you won't be a giggling, sloppy mess. You'll be able to maintain and really, really kind of enjoy yourself, really focus on what's good about the day, I think. And I would advise to be careful with crossfading as well. I know there's some drinking that goes on Thanksgiving Day. I think on Thanksgiving I usually, sometimes I do drink quite a bit. The last few years, not really, because I've been taking more edibles and that makes me sleepy. So if I want to be a part of the world, I'm not going to drink too much, because crossfading and consuming weed all day it'll just make you tired, and plus all the eating and the turkeys. Just be careful. Nurse your drink, nurse your weed. Get faded, but slow and low,
It'll help you maintain that holiday cheer.
Yeah.
A little sparkle in your eye.
But don't overdo it is what I'm saying with drinking. Like a crossfade.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's my cautionary tale. Because you want to be up and enjoying things. And if you wanted to get super crossfaded, like, have your drinks during the main course, and then after dinner, smoke your blunt.
It's a little digestive.
Yes.
Post meal blunt.
Yes, that's when I would save my big guns. Like I know I said before the main course, but that's when I would take my big edible to smoke my flower. For me, being Sasha and a beginner to mid smoker, or I would smoke a blunt after dinner to get primed for dessert, and then it's the end of the night, and then you're about to go home, or you are already home, or staying where you're going to stay, so you're sleepy, and you're getting into comfy clothes right after you come in from the blunt walk, and it's like football's over, you're watching, late night TV or something. All the kids are asleep.
Put on... After that blunt, put on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes, exactly. Or you can even start watching some Christmas movies, maybe The Griswolds, something that is classic. I think they play I think they play March of the Wooden Soldiers on one of the channels all day long.
WOR.
Yeah, yeah. I think they run that like pretty much everywhere. So if you want to watch that, you can do that. It's a nice time to just completely melt away. If you want to take a CBN gummy to get yourself to sleep, you can, but I don't think you're gonna need to. I think you're gonna be able to fall right asleep after you've microdosed your way through Thanksgiving. And for even Sasha, being me, like at most on Thursday, like at most on Thanksgiving, I'm taking in probably like 50 milligrams of edibles in total, and I don't really like I won't smoke a full joint that day. I'll nurse it, like you said, but I will smoke a blunt. Will be shareable. I mean, I'm not going to go outside and body a whole blunt by myself. If you're by yourself smoking, I don't advise the blunt part, but treat yourself to a nice successful Thanksgiving day without many blowouts and meltdowns. You can go enjoy yourself a nice fat joint or blunt. Or a big bong rip, something big that you can celebrate with. That's what I would recommend for the whole day. I think that's pretty good.
That is, Thanksgiving is a marathon day, so you pace yourself.
Exactly.
But you're going to need that holiday cheer.
You are, and you are probably going to be consuming like you're going to be drinking alcohol and you're going to be eating. So you're going to be like actively consuming, like actively like putting stuff in. So just like Tia said, with the food, with drinking, and with smoking, pace yourself all day because it is a long day and you want to get out of it without any scratches or bumps. You just want to be that cool kid at the table who's not fazed, who's not like getting all angry at whoever's saying the stupid thing at that time. You're just chilling. You know?
Yeah, it's a great way to be, and it also helps with your patience and kindness to your family and your friends, and you can be that person that can spread love and cheer, and also have your white light of protection around you when those uncomfortable conversations come up, if they come up. Sometimes they do in any family dynamic.
Yeah. Oh, and also, we don't know when you're going to be listening to this, but if it's before Wednesday, just know that like every dispensary in every state does a Green Wednesday, and there's so many deals to be had. Like I just thought about that. I was gonna go to a dispensary tomorrow, which is Tuesday in this timeline, but why would I do that? I'm just gonna go Wednesday. So yeah, go to Green Wednesday. It's insane. It's like really like a 420 type of holiday. The deals are really sick.
For sure, the cannabis industry didn't want to do Black Friday, so we created Green Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think it's a great creation. It's a great
because
creation.
I did notice like the very first dispensary that I ever worked in, like the Wednesday before Danksgiving was crazy. Like
yeah,
even before Green Wednesday was called Green Wednesday.
Yeah, people
Wednesday
were always
before. Yeah, traveling. Every single person wants edibles, vapes. It's just tis the season.
It is. So we know from experience that you can get some good deals. So you can be a part of that and try to enjoy this year, even though it seems like the actual last year that anybody would enjoy. There might be a hope. There might be hope for us yet with getting through this week and enjoying it. I certainly have found my groove when it comes to that stuff. So hopefully if this is your first rodeo with participating in a legal state and you're set to go and you're comfortable enough to do all these things, that you have a good go of it. And we sure do wish you all of the luck with the smoking and the family stuff. And we will be taking a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about more. We are avoiding politics this week at all costs. So we are just going to be talking about Thanksgiving stuff that's like related to weed all show. And you can't stop us. Usually we run Danksgiving, which I'm actually going to post because it's a classic. And we had fish on and we all took dabs many times. And I don't even know if we make any sense in that show. But it's a great listen.
That was the very first Danksgiving.
It was the Plymouth Rock of Danksgiving.
The Plymouth dab.
Yeah. Okay. Break and then more fun Thanksgiving stuff.
Gummies, 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 I got gummies. Do you want some gummies? It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show.
And we're back.
We're back.
It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's TS.
And that's Sasha.
On the first try, we're gonna get the hang of this podcast thing yet. We are very grateful to be here, just as we are every Monday. Find us everywhere. We're on Blue Sky now. Cool Nerd Weed Show. Find us there. We're not using Twitter anymore because wax fuck. And we're on all of the socials, really, though. So you can search Cool Nerd Weed Show, but specifically Blue Sky. You can also find Adobe Radio there at adobe.com. And me at Actually Sasha. Are you on there? Yeah, you're on there. What's you?
I'm at Burn Hollywood Burn. Yeah. Everywhere.
Look at us. So tonight, speaking of gratitude, we've been talking about Danksgiving, and some states are celebrating in a way that, oh no, I don't have access to the article anymore. Oh, I found it. Okay, never mind. I found it.
Okay.
Wait, do you have it?
Yes.
Okay.
That one's still available to me.
Okay. Can you maybe send it to me?
Yeah.
I had it.
1,000 turkeys?
Yeah. I want to talk about the 1,000 turkeys.
1,000 turkeys.
Yeah.
Were donated. It's on its way right now through the worldwide wow.
I searched 1,000 turkeys, Michigan.
1,000 turkeys.
Flint's Lighten Up. That's the name of the dispensary, right? Lighten Up?
Yes.
Yeah, Lighten Up. Love that name.
Flint, Michigan. I've been to Flint, Michigan.
You have?
I've
never been.
Yeah, there was a church, a decommissioned church that was a venue. It was a trip because it was like the only thing around. I mean, Flint's kind of, it's making a comeback, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
They're in trouble.
Kicking.
They need some help. They definitely need some help in Flint, Michigan.
Kicking.
And the fact that there's actually like a dispensary there, Lighten Up Cannabis Company, and they're doing great things in Flint.
Yeah. See, now this is cannabis reform in action, right? We know that Flint, Michigan it goes through adversities. I mean, we know that over these years, especially recently, it's had a rough go of it, the collective area, and there really should be more attention paid on helping those in need in the Flint area. So what better way to give back than through this community, the cannabis community? And like, I know being part of a dispensary, we did a ton of shit. I mean, and I know a lot of companies do, but like in the weed industry around this holiday, around Thanksgiving, like we always did every drive imaginable, like every food drive, every clothing drive. Like I went down to the mission myself and dropped off. Yeah. Oh my God. The toy drives for Christmas. Like dispensaries are really, when we are like treated with social equity, dispensaries like to give that back because they know like that's just how the community works. So it makes total sense that a cannabis dispensary would be showing the Flint area much love. And they have like over 1,000 turkeys that they're giving to people in need for holiday.
Yeah, like 300 of them went to Vet Life for veterans.
Wonderful.
And there were some other turkeys went to the North End Soup Kitchen and some other church groups. So, this is a beautiful thing. And it is true of the cannabis community does love to give back. It's what we do. We want to pay it forward.
Yeah.
And, helping the whole point of cannabis was to getting into it was to help people.
Well,
In the early days, the medical medicinal days for sure. And they're doing it in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, that certainly was what the weed industry was founded on, was helping each other and getting through it and finding ways to get through it together. So it's a beautiful thing to see, and I do give them lots of praise and lots of love for doing this, and I hope that it's like a tradition that is carried on through many dispensaries and all throughout the country and the year, really. But it's definitely a nice gesture and a nice moment to see. I wanted to talk about the cannabis infused Thanksgiving Arizona
I just
thing.
want to give yeah.
But
I just want to give
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to give the Lighten Up founder Kyle Cohey a shout out.
Good, yes,
you're doing the
please do.
work.
Yes, yeah. Way to be. Way to give back. Way to show up. Way to prove to people that cannabis is for good and only wants good. So when it's not like overtaken by a crappy corporation or over regulated, cannabis is for good. So the Arizona thing I don't have, because for some reason the article I was looking at is behind a paywall, and this is why
It's
we
cut
read
off.
newspapers. Yeah, but we don't have to talk about that specific thing. But like we could talk about like infused dishes if you want to, a little bit, just like 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah, I'll just tee it up here.
Yeah.
So in Arizona, Mint Cafe is like a kind of kitchen. They're actually like making infused meals, and they're doing a Thanksgiving dinner to anyone who's 21 and older. You can go to this alternative Thanksgiving feast that is fully infused.
That's amazing. Like, what better way to celebrate Thanksgiving than to break bread with the community and enjoy a delicious infused dinner, which we know is, when done right, is just an absolute treat. So if you're in Arizona and you're around that area, definitely, and you need something to do, this is a great, great option to spend your Thanksgiving. Ain't no thing wrong with going to a dispensary, hanging out with like-minded folks, and getting slowly but surely very high throughout the meal, which is just going to make everything taste better. It's just a fact.
I love it.
And if you want to, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, like we've been to the Cannabis Supper Club, but if they did, I'd be so down if the Cannabis Supper Club did a Thanksgiving feast.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I saw
just that warm, that, eating that full infused Danksgiving is like, that meal is like wrapping you in a warm blanket.
Totally.
You feel warm and fuzzy and very satisfying.
Yes, take a lift to and from.
Absolutely.
You're going to be tired and you're not going to want to drive, and you're going to be stoned, and you don't want to drive when you're stoned. So take a lift to and fro. And if you would like to do your own Thanksgiving, really the trick, honestly, is to get an infused butter. You can infuse it yourself. There's butter machines. I have one. I've never used it. I just infuse butter kind of the old-fashioned way for no reason at all. I literally have the big machine and I never use it. But that's really the best way. Or, tincture, stuff like that. But really you're going to want to put any of the tincture or your flour or anything, you want to put that in a butter, because that is just going to be the way it's going to be evenly distributed throughout your dish. Put them on some mashed potatoes. You like butter on Thanksgiving is actual gold. So any dish.
Butter is the perfect vessel for cannabis. It
It's got your
binds to the
fatties.
fat.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of like what you put butter on everything on Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Even the vegan
everywhere.
butter is really fucking good.
Oh my
now.
God, it's so
Infuse
good.
some vegan butter.
Oh, yes. Infuse that vegan butter.
For your vegan friends. You got to include everybody.
Of course. They're all coming over.
And
you also can put it in honey. Cannabis infused honey is also that's also like very available if you are in a randomly I will find like cannabis infused honey in New Jersey. Like I'll be like, oh shit, that's there. And it'll be like a bajillion milligrams. But you'll find honey a lot. So if you want to put that on like your pumpkin pies and your apple pies after dinner, maybe on your ice creams, you can do that as well.
Put it in your coffee.
You can also put it in your coffee, in your tea. Oh, that is my favoriteest thing to do is drink tea with cannabis infused honey. It's honestly what I want to do on my deathbed. It's the best thing in the world. So enjoy that if you can and if you should and if you will. Just know that there's good things happening in the world with cannabis. Cannabis is providing good things to the world. And if you would like to be part of those good things, you can. You have the tools and the options to do so. That was all we wanted to do the show. We're going to take a quick break. And then we'll come back.
We'll be right back.
Wait, say that again.
We'll be right back.
Thank you. There was no reason. I just want to hear you say it again. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
And we're back.
We're back.
It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's Jess.
That's Sasha.
I didn't play any I'm going to play just the final puff. Hold on.
The Final Puff with TS and Sasha.
So our final puff today, we just wanted to talk about what we're grateful for the last 3 minutes of the show. Not enough time to talk about our gratitude, but why the fuck not? Definitely, there's just a lot of, like, this month has been long. It's been a decade long, and it's been a lot of, like, bummer news, one like rapid fire, and it's probably only going to get a little worse. And the nerds are the first to admit that. But so we wanted to like flood your timeline with like a positive show about positive things. And we wanted to end it positively, like no wavering at all. So I am grateful for Adobe Radio, 100%, a billion percent. What a thing to exist. If Adobe Radio quite literally saved my life this year. I cannot say how much this company like means to me, and I also can't say how great this company is and how much good we're doing. So I'm very honored to be part of Adobe Radio. I also am very, very honored to be part of the Cool Nerd Weed Show, and I always have been. And number one on my list of things that I'm grateful for when I write down my gratitude list and in my journals, it's always the Cool Nerd Weed Show. Right up there with my fucking family. So, like, just wanted to say those things first is the Cool Nerd Weed Show is deeply important to me, and I'm very grateful it exists. And then my family and my niece and goddaughter and my friends, which is my TS and my husbands who I have. I'm just grateful that you're all healthy and that you all decided to stick around in my life and spend this last however many years it's been that you've spent with me, and that, you know, the rest of my family hasn't given up on me, and my husbands, who we've been together for 14 years, which is a long time, and my puppies, who I love so muchly, and I'm just grateful that all you guys are in my life and that you're healthy. And that's my gratitude list.
I too am thankful for Adobe Radio. They have definitely 100% saved my life on many occasions. I'm super grateful that this the show exists and we have a platform for it every week. Every week, it is therapy, and I'm happy to be able to have a voice, and I'm grateful that my voice is being heard by all of you beautiful people that are listening right now. My God, I might cry.
Yeah, I can't believe I got through that not crying. It was close.
I am thankful for your sacrifice that you are helping me to see my family during Christmas.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, that was actually, I'm grateful that I got to do that too. That makes me feel good that you're gonna see your
I
families.
get to see my family.
They're
I
gonna
get
be
to see my
grateful too.
brothers, my
Yeah.
nephews, my mom and dad,
Yeah,
and
I bet they're grateful too.
my sister-in-law.
Big ups, the Saltinos.
all all of the all the TS family. And I think especially my Sasha. I'm thankful.
Yeah, I said my TS.
You get like a double. You get a
Thanks.
double shot of gratitude because
yeah, the sacrifice comes. I just realized why you said sacrifices, because I did. I sacrificed seeing you this Christmas, but it was worth the sacrifice because I'm really grateful that you're going, and I'm grateful that you're grateful for me too.
So you are on the list twice.
Thanks.
Probably a third time. But...
Yeah, I'm grateful that we have each other and that we've been having this show anchor us, even in our most emotional moments, personally, as individuals, as friends. We've always done this show. We could be angry at each other, and we still do that. I mean, we're never mad at each other, but we could be having a discussion, and we'll be okay, we just gotta stop talking. We gotta do the show. We'll do the show, and then we'll continue our discussion about whatever serious thing that isn't so serious after all happens. And that's really the gist of what we want to end on is, yeah, it's all serious. Yeah, we're curmudgeons most of the time, but at the end of the day, I know TS saves me, and I know that the show saves me, and that is that's something that really is a source of true gratitude that I feel, and that I know TS feels too. So happy Danksgiving to all, and
don't panic.
It's organic.